This is the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. I am your host, Laurie Henderson. Join me on this journey into the world of manga, where a river of reviews flow through caverns of commentary down into the latest news. Welcome to the Manga Dome. Episode 41. But is it creepy? The weekly wish list. After last week's very long list, I'm relieved that there are only 2 titles I'm looking forward to this week. Both are from Viz. 07 Ghosts is a wonderful mess of a story of hot-looking guys with more than just a passing resemblance to the men from Sayuki, a series I love to bits. So it should be little wonder I love this one too. Volume 8 is out this week. Excel Saga is another mess of a series that you can't help loving. It's been coming out for years now, and its long journey comes to an end as the final volume, 27, comes out this week. It's a must to complete my collection. The dangers of scanlations. It's been said for a while now that scanlation sites were dangerous. Now it seems it can be literally true for your computer. According to Symantec, the antivirus and security software company, they have found that cybercriminals have started to take advantage of the popularity of scanlation sites. Numerous links on sites were found to have malicious redirects and used malvertisements in code to infect visiting computers. Mobile devices were also affected, as adware could collect users' email addresses, phone numbers, and application use. The attacks peak with the release of chapters of popular titles Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Fairy Tail, and Kingdom, of which all but Kingdom have been licensed in the U.S., which is also among the highest concentration of scanlation readership. Criminals have always used social engineering and popular platforms to extend their reach. It's why Windows became so riddled with viruses and the web the most popular way to transport it. It's sad that scanlations have become a part of that threat, and really sad that, with most of these titles available in the U.S., we are also still the biggest of its customers. If you say scanlations don't hurt anyone, now you can look in the mirror and wonder if it's hurt you. The VizManga.com update. At VizManga.com, their holiday sale may be over, but the reign of new shonen and shoujo titles isn't. For the week of January 6, 2013, an unsurprisingly new release stands on top. Naruto Volume 64 takes its place at number 1. Siren Volume 14 also debuts on the list at number 2. Rurouni Kenshin Restoration Volume 2, the Kenshin reboot, is in at number 3. Yu Yu Hakusho, the former king of the top spot, drops down 3 with Volume 12 at number 4. New shoujo Kimi ni Todoke Volume 18 debuts at number 5, followed by Strobe Edge Volume 8 at number 6. Otoman Volume 17 comes in at number 7, while Skip Beat Volume 26 falls forward to number 8. Natsume's Book of Friends Volume 15 jumps in at number 9, and Black Cat Volume 18 ends the list at number 10. There are a lot of familiar titles on the list, and that's because most of them were on my weekly wish list last week. All of the shoujo were. I was wondering why so many titles looked familiar when it finally hit me. I'm happy to see I'm not the only one waiting for these books. The new Naruto is no surprise, but I find Rurouni Kenshin's appearance is. I really didn't enjoy the first volume. I guess someone did, at least enough to want the second. The New York Times Bestseller List. Over at the New York Times Bestseller List, new releases have a similar effect, knocking the Titans from their dominating 5 places down to 2. There is a new top title, and just like on the Viz.com list, it's Naruto Volume 64. Coming in at number 2 is Seven Seas' big hit, Monster Musume Volume 2. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal Volume 4 debuts at number 3, while last week's number 1, Attack on Titan Volume 10, falls 3 to number 4. Nisekoi Volume 1, while not new in general, but new in print, springs in at number 5, and is followed by Rurouni Kenshin Restoration Volume 2 at number 6. Siren Volume 14 breaks its way in at number 7, while Attack on Titan Volume 1 falls 6 to number 8. Maximum Ride Volume 7 also falls 6 to come in at number 9, and Black Butler Volume 1 stubbornly hangs on, falling only 2 to number 10. There are a lot of similarities between this list and the VizManga.com list. Viz has the power to dominate with monster titles such as Naruto and Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I'll bet Seven Seas had no idea of the monster they'd found in Monster Musume. I was wondering how well Nisekoi was going to fare in print, since it has been available in digital for almost a year now. Apparently, it's doing just fine. But is it creepy? This is something that's been bothering me for a while now. Back in 2011, I discovered Yazawa's work through the short story series Mizuki that DMP published. I really enjoyed the story and art and wanted to check out Yazawa's other work, which at the time was only Wedding Peach from Viz Media. Before I picked up any volumes of the series, I pulled out my copy of Manga, the Complete Guide, written mostly by Jason Thompson, and checked out the entry for the series. It was mostly a condemnation of the series as a blatant ripoff of Sailor Moon. This didn't bother me. I hadn't read Sailor Moon, and I'm not bothered by copycat titles if there is something interesting about it. What did give me cause for pause was how the reviewer, not Jason for this entry, found the wedding theme bizarre, even setting aside the basic creepiness of preteens in bridal paraphernalia. This gave me the impression that the manga had crossed some line into fan service territory, that there was something wrong with the title. I found the first volume at Book Off for $1, so I bought it and read it anyway. I read through the first volume, keeping an eye out for any of the creepiness the reviewer mentioned. Other than some skirts that looked a little too short to me, I saw nothing I would classify as creepy. Wedding Peach is very upbeat, even with the drama and crying. It had a lot of action and humor which balanced against the drama. I went back to the review and reread it. To me, it wasn't that there was anything disturbing about the manga itself. It was just that the reviewer didn't get the appeal of a wedding theme and found girls dressing in wedding garb disturbing. This really started to annoy me. In a book aimed at tween to teen girls, why would the theme of weddings be weird? Why would dressing in a wedding gown be creepy? The end of the entry had the initials CT, and a scan of the beginning of the book revealed that the review was actually written by a Chuck Tang. Now I was getting mad. What was up with this guy, passing judgment on the interests of girls just because he obviously didn't get them? There are a lot of girls who love romance, and weddings and getting married are a big part of resolving a romance. It might not be as popular as it used to be, but that doesn't mean there still aren't girls out there who dream of finding the man of their dreams and being a bride. Really, who was this guy to call a wedding theme bizarre because he didn't get the appeal? Did he actually read the volumes? The power of the three girls comes from love and that moment when you dedicate your life to someone you love. A wedding is the symbol of this. Why wouldn't you want your heroes to represent the major players in a wedding, the bride and their bridesmaids? And the creepiness remark was just completely out of line. What is creepy about a girl dressing up in a wedding gown? For a lot of girls and women in general, wearing a wedding gown is the one time they get to feel like a fairy tale princess. To dress in a beautiful gown and be seen by all of the important people in your life. How can this be creepy? Was it creepy when I dressed up as a bride for Halloween when I was 5? No one around me thought so. For a tween who is just starting to discover these feelings of romance, getting dressed up in a wedding gown is the same as being transformed like Cinderella. There is a reason many prom dresses are found in wedding shops and boutiques. Same idea, different occasion. It wasn't creepy when Momoko put on her mother's wedding gown. It was a way for her to feel close to a mother she hadn't seen since she was 4. If you think that's creepy, then you have no soul. I didn't have a problem that this guy didn't like Wedding Peach. The majority of his review went on about how he thought it was just a bad ripoff of Sailor Moon. It's not an uncommon thought, though after reading a few volumes of Wedding Peach and Sailor Moon, I'd say it's wrong. He has every right to not like the book on those merits. But where I can and do take issue is where he deliberately puts down women and their interests just because he doesn't like them or doesn't get them. It was incredibly unprofessional of him to put those statements in, and worse, for Del Rey editors to let them stand. How many other potential readers of Wedding Peach were turned off as I almost was by this guy's poor choice of words? You can like or hate Wedding Peach for its art, writing, or being a perceived ripoff of another property, but don't fall for this guy's ignorance. Wedding Peach is anything but creepy. Thank you for listening to the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. You can find links to the stories and books discussed here in the show notes at manga.jadedragononline.com. You can email me with any questions at xanadu@jadedragononline.com or leave a comment on this post. Rate me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at Manga Xanadu, all one word. Until next time, farewell from the Manga Dome.